welcome to Bend and Book Yoga. I'm Emily and I'm going to be leading you through today's practice. We are back again at the McCracken County Library, and I think we're going to do this every Friday at 3 as long as nothing changes. So do the same thing as you did for last practice. Make your space as comfy as you can. Get as much room as you can. If you would like a pillow or a blanket to assist you with some support, you can also do that as well. If you have any blocks or maybe a stack of books or something that might assist you in the ground poses, feel free to grab those as well. And we're going to get started in our nice comfortable seat. So we're going to rock side to side, get our sits bones adjusted, and really stretch through this crown of the head and the spine. Loosen through the shoulders, bring the shoulder blades away from the ears, tuck them back into their pockets, and let the eyes drift close if that's comfortable for you. We're going to start to build our own personal space here today. Just kind of make ourselves aware of anything that might be surrounding us, the feel of our mat, maybe our clothes, the air on our skin, the way it feels to breathe in and out as the chest rises and falls, the air coming in and out of our nose, maybe the sensation of our hair. Just being aware of our physical space here. Maybe we bring a hand to our chest to feel our breath. And take a few deep breaths just like that, feeling the rise and the fall of the chest. Inhale deep through the nose, and exhale out through the mouth, as if we're fogging up a mirror in front of our faces as we Ujjayi breath. Cleansing breaths here, letting all of our anxieties and our troubles go as we breathe. And once we're comfortable here, bringing hands to heart center. We're going to set our own intention for our practice today. If there's anything we feel we need from ourselves, any sensations in our bodies that we want to get rid of, any sensations in the muscles, anything that needs loosening, maybe our emotional state too. Paying attention to those little cues from our own bodies, building awareness around them, and creating our own goal. We're going to use our asanas today, our physical practice, to meditate through our goal, to bring awareness to our bodies and our breath, and to be present in this moment. My goal for you is that you feel kind, positive, and supported by the end of this practice today. I hope that you feel strong and healthy. And once you find your own goal, releasing our breath, releasing our hands, bringing them to the knees. We're going to rock side to side, wake up that side body. Reach through the crown of the head as we lean side to side. And as we inhale, we're going to reach those arms up as high as we can. A good morning stretch. Really reaching through those fingertips, maybe give them a little wiggle. And as we exhale, we're going to bring them down into our goalpost arms or our cactus arms. We're going to pinch the shoulder blades together as much as we can. Reaching through the chest. Gaze up to the sky. Inhale. Reach as high as you can. And as we exhale, we're going to bring the arms behind the back. Really reaching through the chest, the crown of the head. Our gaze lifts to the sky as we pinch those shoulder blades towards the spine. Deep breath here. Exhale to release. We're going to bring our right arm down to the side of the mat, reaching over with our left arm, and really feeling that length through the left side body. We're going to reach as much as we can toward that outside wall. Exhale, release. We're going to try that to the other side, so bringing our left arm down into a kickstand, reaching over with the right arm. Really revolving open with that chest. We want to make sure our chest is pointing to the sky. One more breath. Reach, reach, reach. Exhale, release. And then we're going to bring both arms to the knees. Inhale. Exhale, gently fold down over the knees. We can leave the arms here. We can really stretch out with the arms. If you'd like to feel something extra in the hip flexors, rock side to side if you need to. And if you have the arms outstretched, we're going to walk them over to the right side of our mat here. Deep breath. Don't be afraid to breathe, make it loud. Every exhale, cleansing our body. And we're going to come back to center, walking the hands off to the left side this time. As much as we can, feeling that stretch to the right side body, the right hip flexors. We reach, reach, reach to the left. And we're going to come back to center, roll up the spine one vertebrae at a time, nice and slow. We're going to interlace those fingers behind the back. Chest to gaze lifts to the sky. And if you'd like to fold with those interlaced fingers, shoulders, feel free to do so. If this is a little too intense for you, only go as far as you want. And as always, if at any time during our practice you feel you need those extra modifications, maybe you want to modify up or down, please feel free to do so. We're going to roll over our knees coming into our tabletop position. And then we're going to keep a nice neutral spine as we stack our joints. Our hips are going to go over our knees, shoulders over elbows, and elbows over wrists. We're going to aim to keep that spine nice and neutral. And then we're going to lower through the belly, sending those hips up to the sky as we inhale for cow pose. As we exhale, we're going to round the back, round the shoulders, and tuck the pelvis for cat. We rock side to side here. Give the hips a wiggle. Whatever feels good for you, we're going to match 3 more breaths just like this. 1 breath, 1 movement. At your own pace. Don't be afraid to breathe. One more breath, just like this. We're going to feel those abs activate here. And we're going to touch the big toes together, widen the knees, and sink the hips back towards the heels for child's pose. Arms can rest in front of you as we really stretch through the shoulders, upper spine. Let ourselves relax. You can rest the forehead on the mat. You can cross the arms, rest your head on your arms. This is our safety pose. If at any time you feel you need a break, maybe this pose just feels good for you, maybe you want to add it into your practice instead of our vinyasa, you can always feel free to do that. You can also adjust this pose however you like, bringing the knees together, kind of lessens the strain on the hips. If you'd like more of a hip opener, you can always widen the knees. And then coming back through our tabletop position. We're going to keep that nice neutral spine once more, and then we're going to flip our toes, setting up for our first downward dog of the day. So we're going to send the hips up to the sky, keep the spine nice and long. Maybe your knees need to be bent here, maybe our calves are a little bit tight today. If so, you can always pedal through the heels and build some space in your hamstrings. And we're aiming to keep that spine nice and long, so we're going to send those hips up to the sky as much as we can. If we need to bend the knees to do so, please feel free. One more breath here. Hopefully you're feeling a little bit better. We're going to hold this stationary just for a moment. One more breath. And then we're going to hop, skip, or jump to the top of your mat, feet between the hands for our first forward fold. And you can set this up however you like, so you can keep the hands to the ground, you can cross the arms over the chest and rock side to side. If you have some blocks available to you, or maybe a stack of books, you can always rest the hands right there in front of you. Reach to the sides. If you feel more comfortable putting the hands on the back of the shins, that's also available to you. And then we're aiming to keep the belly close to the thigh, so if you need to bend the knees, you'll be able to do that as well. That's one of the modifications available. Rock side to side. Really enjoy this pose. We're going to come back to it time and time again, and it will start to feel better the more we warm up those hamstrings. Rocking side to side. Pedal it out. And then we're going to inhale and bring those hands to the shins, keeping a nice flat back. Our gaze is at the ground. This is our halfway lift. Nice deep breath here. Exhale to fold, nice and loud. Hopefully you're already feeling a little bit better here. As we inhale, we're going to ragdoll up to our mountain pose. And then we're going to bring our hands to our sides. Really opening up, adjusting our stance as much as we need to feel stable, really rooting through the 4 corners of our feet. If we need to lift the toes to feel those engage. Hands to the sides. Deep breath here. Raise the gaze to the sky. We're honoring our bodies here. If anything feels comfortable for you, always add it in. Deep breath here as we inhale. Circle, sweep those arms to the sky. We're starting our sun salutation, so we're going to exhale to fold, reverse swan dive. We're going to plant the hands, stepping back 1 foot at a time into our plank. Now we can take the full plank here, we can take the modification where the knees are on the ground. Either is perfect. And then we're going to lower nice and slow, keeping those elbows to the body for chaturanga. Then we're going to sweep through, bring bring our chest up to the sky for upward dog or cobra. Now, this is cobra pose. If you want to do upward dog, the thighs are off the mat. And then we can lower, practice our chaturanga once more. Inhale, sweep back up, baby cobra, full cobra. Flip the toes, send the hips up to the sky, downward facing dog. Pedal it out here if we need to. Savor this pose if it feels good. And we're gonna step forward with our left foot, bring that between the hands for our runner's lunge. Deep breath here, feel that stretch through the outer hip flexor. And stepping our right foot forward to meet the left, we're back in our forward fold. Hold on to this just for one moment. Inhale to halfway lift, hands to the shins. Exhale to fold. Inhale, ragdoll up, circle sweep those arms up to the sky, extended mountain. And we take a little back bend with our pointer fingers here. Relish in those movements. And then as we exhale, we're gonna sweep down and back into our chair pose. I know it's our favorite. We're gonna activate the glutes, the thighs, and the lower back to hold us stable. Hands can be up above or at heart center. I prefer heart center here. Then we're gonna sink just a little bit lower, make it challenging on ourselves. Exhale, fold, and release. We're gonna try that cycle one more time. Deep breath here. Give ourselves a little bit of a break. And then we're gonna plant the hands, stepping back one foot at a time into that plank. And lower through chaturanga. Sweep up through that upward dog or cobra. Flip the toes, downward facing dog. A little bit faster this time. We're gonna step forward with the right foot between the hands, runner's lunge. And we're gonna feel that stretch to the outer hip. Step the left foot forward to meet it. Forward fold. Sink a little bit lower. Inhale, rising up to halfway lift, hands to shins, nice flat back. Exhale, release and fold. Inhale, ragdoll up, circle sweep those arms. Maybe back bend if you're feeling it. And sweep down and back into our chair. A little bit lower than last time. You can do it. Hands to heart center if you like. Exhale to fold. And then we're gonna sink as low as we can into a nice deep squat. And come onto our backs. We're gonna stretch those legs out nice and long in front of us. We're setting up for boat pose. So sitting up nice and straight, adjusting the sits bones if we need to. We're gonna bring the heels towards the hips. Now there are several variations that you can take with this pose. You can use the toes as a kickstand here. You can leave the heels on the ground. Give it a nice small hover. Or we can reach the heels to the sky. We can keep the arms here. They can come out to the sides, they can cross over the chest. Whatever floats your boat. We're gonna hold on to this pose just for a moment. 3 breath cycles. You can also row your boat here if you're feeling a little extra. And breathe with it, don't forget to breathe. And slowly release, don't let yourself fall. Bring the toes down to the mat. Soles of the feet together, take it nice and slow. Deep breath. And then we're going to move on to our plank. So we're going to roll over our knees once more. And then we're going to bring the forearms to the mat this time. We're going to send those heels out nice and long behind us. Keeping the hips low. Not too high and not too low. Nice, happy medium here. Hold on for 3 breaths. I believe in you. And breathe with it. Again, any modification you like is also available to you here. If you'd like to take to the knees, that's fine as well. One more breath, you can do it. And release, knees to the mat. We're going to sink back into our child's pose. Give ourselves a nice break here. And really breathe, let yourself relax, let the forehead rest on the mat. One more breath here. And then we're gonna move on to our side planks, my very favorite. So we're gonna come back through our tabletop position. We're gonna send our left hand right underneath the face here. We can also use the left leg as a kickstand and extend the right leg, or we can stack both legs here. And if you're not comfortable with being up as high, you can also bring that left forearm down to the mat. And then we're gonna bring that right arm to the hip, or it can reach up to the sky. You can play with your balance a little bit here. Half bind if you'd like. Open up through the chest. One more breath here. And release, coming back onto the center of our mat here. We can sit the hips back towards the heels, excuse me, and really stretch out, give ourselves a break. And breathe before we take on the next side. And then I'm gonna turn myself around so you can see me. And then we're gonna bring that right hand underneath the face here again. If you'd like to use that kickstand modification, the right leg can come underneath to support us. We can stack the feet. Hand to the hip. And then if you're feeling comfortable, reaching that left arm up to the sky. One more breath. I believe in you. Really feel that side body activate here. And rolling back onto our mat. Child's pose if you want it, if you need that extra break here. Hold on to this child's pose for 2 more breaths. Relax. Let the forehead find the mat. Really breathe. Our breath is so vital to us in this practice today. I'm going to try a couple more variations of our crunches here. So we're going to bring the hands off to the sides like we're doing our downward facing dog. So we're going to tuck those toes, send the hips up to the sky. And then we're going to shift back and forth between our plank and our downward facing dog. Now we shouldn't have to move the hands or the feet at all. So we can just shift our weight forward onto our toes. And then send them back towards the heels as we lift the hips, send the hips up to the sky, keeping the spine nice and long. Then we're gonna shift as we exhale. Inhale, sending hips to the sky, downward facing dog. Exhale to plank. Inhale, hips to the sky, downward facing dog. We're gonna do 2 more just like that. Exhale to plank. And on our next downward facing dog, we're gonna stay right where we are. And then we're gonna start to lift that right leg towards the chest. Hold on to that just for a moment. Exhale, send that leg to the sky, 3-legged dog. Inhale to crunch, bring that knee to the chest. Exhale, 3-legged dog. We're gonna do 2 more just like that. Last one, here we go. Knee to the chest. Send that leg to the sky. And then coming back down to our downward facing dog. Maybe we take a child's pose here instead. Really stretching through those fingers. Sigh of relief. And then we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. So we're gonna come back up through our tabletop position whenever we're ready. Setting up with our hand, making sure we're not dumping all the weight into our wrists. Instead, we're spreading that weight through our J fingers. That is our thumb and our index finger. Send the hips up to the sky. And then we're gonna crunch that left leg into the chest. Exhale, 3-legged dog. Do that same pattern, 5 breath cycles here. If you don't want to do the crunch, you can also hold our 3-legged dog. One more, guys, I believe in you. And let that leg float down to the mat. Knees come to the mat, child's pose if you want it. Deep breath. One more breath here, guys. And then we're gonna return to our downward facing dog. So whenever you're ready, tucking those toes, sending the hips to the sky. And then we're going to send our left leg forward between the hands, runner's lunge. Moving on to our warrior sequence. Making sure we're stable here. Drop that right knee down to the mat, untuck the right toes. Rising up into our low lunge. The hands can find the hips. You can find the knee here if that's more comfortable for you. We're going to tuck the right toes and rise up into our high lunge. Deep breath here. We need to bump the back foot forward just a little bit to find some more balance. Squeeze those hips in to find high crescent lunge. And then we're going to pivot that back foot so that the right heel finds the mat. We're lining up our left heel with our right arch. And then we're going to pivot those hips to the front. Really sinking our weight through that front leg, making sure we can see our toes in front of our knee. And our hands. Imagine that we're holding a giant beach ball up above our heads here. Warrior one. Hands go to heart center. And we're going to keep the same position with the feet. Just open up the arms. Our right arm reaches to the back. Our left arm reaches forward. Feeling that pull of both arms. Surf it out if you need to. Feeling that strength with the upper body. Deep breath here. Almost as if we're in a toaster. We're keeping ourselves in the same plane. And then we're going to flip our front left palm. Let the right arm find the back of the right leg and reaching up with that left arm. Reverse warrior. Pretty shapes with the fingers if you'd like. And then coming through our warrior two. This time we're going to use our left arm as a kickstand, reaching up for our side angle. If you would like to reach for the ankle or the mat instead, if you have a block to use here, feel free to use that as well. Reaching up with that right arm. And then we're going to change it up just a little bit. We're going to take that right hand to the inside of the left foot, and then we're going to reach up with the left arm for a reverse side angle. This is a little bit intense for your legs. You can also drop that right knee down to the mat. One more breath here. And then we're going to bring that left hand to the outside of the left foot, back in our runner's lunge. Then we're going to sweep that left foot back to our plank pose. And then we're going to vinyasa or downward facing dog or child's pose here, whatever you prefer. Lower through chaturanga. Sweeping up, upward dog or cobra. Flipping the toes, downward facing dog. Deep breath. Hopefully we're starting to sweat just a little bit here. We're going to try that same sequence on the other side. So stepping forward with the right foot between the hands, runner's lunge. Find our balance here. And drop that left knee down to the mat. Untuck the toes. Hands can find the hips. Find a knee. We're going to tuck those toes. Rising up once we have our balance. Kick that back foot forward just a little bit if you're having a little trouble with your stability. Pivot that back foot so that our right heel lines up with our left arch. Square those hips to the front. Arms up, warrior one. Holding that imaginary beach ball up above the head. Tuck the shoulders away from the ears. Strong and confident here. Conquerors. Hands to heart center. Deep breath. Opening up into our warrior two. Feeling that balance. Our right arm pulling us forward, the left arm pulling us back. Flip that front right palm. Reverse our warrior. Pretty fingers, pretty shapes. And flipping back forward through warrior two. Use that right arm as a kickstand or reach for the ankle. Maybe the side feels a little bit different to you. That's okay. Always adjust yourself to where you're comfortable. Left hand revolves to the inside of the right foot this time. Reaching up with the right arm. Revolve side angle. Beautiful. We can also drop that left leg down to the mat. Make it a little less intense on the legs. And revolve that right hand to the outside of the right foot. We're back in our runner's lunge. Stepping back into plank, we can vinyasa or we can downward dog. We can child's pose. It's all up to you at your own pace. And once we're all back in our downward facing dog, we're going to step forward between those hands, forward fold. Inhale to halfway lift, hands to shins, nice flat back. Gaze at the ground. Exhale, release, forward fold. And then we're going to ragdoll up to our mountain pose. We're going to set up for our balance poses here, so it's especially important that we establish our base now. So finding that balance right where we stand, finding those four corners of our feet, lifting the toes. And breathe. Nice and loud. We're setting up for warrior three here, so maybe we experiment with our balance just a little bit first. Lifting that right leg, finding our drishti, our single still point to look at. If you're feeling comfortable here, we can start to kick that right leg back behind us, hinging forward at the hips, and only lifting that foot as high as we're comfortable. And we're going to keep the foot flexed as if we're putting a footprint on the back wall. Hands can stay at heart center. You can make airplane arms here. Or we can reach up above, whatever you're comfortable with. Personally, I like heart center. We're going to hold that as long as we're comfortable. Then we're going to try the same thing on the other side. So finding that balance through that right leg instead. Bring that left leg up. And then slowly sending that left leg back behind us. If we feel some wobbles, that's okay. I still do. And then same thing, that footprint on the back wall. Maybe we reach down for blocks if we have them. Hands heart center up above or to the sides for an airplane. If you want to play with your balance here, feel free. Release, come back to mountain pose whenever you're ready. Deep breath here. Hard hearts over. Reaching up, hands to the sky, extended mountain. Exhale to fold. We can plant the hands. Stepping back into our plank. Maybe we start to take the modification here. We're going to vinyasa or downward facing dog, your choice. Flip the toes, downward facing dog. Then bringing the knees to the mat, child's pose. We've earned it. Tucking those big toes together. Deep breath here. Now we're going to start to build some flexibility. So we're going to come back up through our tabletop position whenever we're ready. And then finding our comfortable seat. We're going to send the legs out in front of us here in almost a straddle position. Reaching up nice and tall through the crown of the head. The spine stays nice and straight. Deep breath, sigh of relief. Then we're going to reach over to our right side. Our right hand can find whatever position it wants to. It can fall on the toes, the ankle, the knee, whatever you would prefer. I like to have it wrap around the inside of the foot here. Reaching up that left arm. Maybe we bring the arm behind the back. Just focus on that side body. Deep breath here. And then we can reach back up through center. We're going to try the same thing on the other side. So reaching for that left ankle, the shin, the knee, whatever you prefer. And reaching up with that right arm. Really lengthen through that side body. If you'd like to feel that extra pull, bring that right arm behind the back. And again, if you feel any discomfort at all, backing out of this just a little bit. Hopefully we also feel a stretch in that left hamstring. One more breath. And coming back through center. We're going to bring those soles of the feet together, butterfly pose. So hands can come to the ankles, the outside of the feet, the knees, whatever you prefer. Sitting up nice and tall here, we can stay here and let those knees fall open towards the mat, not forcing them at all. Or we can wrap those hands around the toes and fold. Just as low as you're comfortable. This is sort of an intense stretch on the inner thigh and sometimes in the hip flexors as well. So if you feel any discomfort at all, make sure to adjust yourself to where you're more comfortable. Deep breath here and relax. Holding on to this for 2 more breaths. Hopefully we're starting to unwind our breath. It's a little more natural. Heart rate is slowing down just a little bit. And then ragdoll back up. We're going to bring the legs out straight in front of us this time, and we're going to fold over these knees. And again, we can keep that micro bend in the knees if that's more comfortable for our hamstrings. And then we can reach up over the head. And as we exhale, we're going to fold again. Those hands can fold wherever they want to. They can find the outside of the foot here. They can find ankles, the shins, maybe even the back of the legs. And then we're going to hold on to this for 3 breaths. Hopefully enough time to find some length through the hamstrings if we're feeling any sticky spots. Breathing into those with every exhale, sinking just a little bit deeper. One more breath here. And then rolling back up through the spine. Keeping those legs out nice and straight in front of us. We're going to control our descent down to the mat. Nice and slow, using the abs to support ourselves here. And then we're going to bring the soles of the feet close to the hips. Hands can come to the sides. Tuck those shoulder blades in towards the spine. And then we're going to lift through the hips. Bridge pose. And we're going to make sure not to move our head or neck in this position. But if you'd like to add some alterations, some modifications, we can lift that right leg to the sky. It's really intense on the left leg. And we can alternate, send that left leg to the sky instead, keeping those hips lifted. Maybe we stay here. Or maybe with both heels on the ground, we can interlace the fingers under the hips to make this more of a chest opener. And then on our next exhale, we're going to bring those hips down to the mat. Soles of the feet together, a supine butterfly. Letting the knees fall open to the mat. Deep breath here, and relax. Hopefully this pose feels good on the hips. One more breath here. And then bringing both knees together, pointing to the sky. We can bring our arms out into a T. And we're going to send those knees over to the right side of the mat. And relax, deep breath here. As we inhale, bring the knees back up to center, pointing to the sky. As we exhale, sending the legs over to the left side of the mat. Letting them fall naturally, or maybe we stick our pillow or blanket or whatever we have available underneath the knee here to support ourselves. On our next inhale, knees back to the sky. And then we're going to bring both knees in towards the chest for acorn pose. Our hands can wrap around the outside of the shins, rock side to side, give the lower back a nice massage. Maybe we rock in a circle. Get all those spots in the lower back. Should feel pretty good. And then we're going to send that right leg down to the mat, keep the left leg into the chest. And then we're going to bring our right hand to the outside of the left leg. The left arm can come out to a T. And then we're going to cross that left leg across our body over to the right side of our mat. Our gaze can be over our left fingertips to complete the twist. Hopefully this feels pretty good on the spine and the outside of the left hip. Deep breath here. One more breath. Keeping that left shoulder blade towards the mat. And then coming back out of it, we're gonna slowly unwrap ourselves. We're gonna bring both knees into the chest once more. Rock side to side, reset the spine. And then we're going to keep that right leg into the chest instead, sending that left leg down to the mat. Left arm comes across and grabs the outside of the right knee. And twist. Right arm can come out into a T. Again, if we'd like to set a pillow, blanket, block, anything under our right knee to support ourselves here, I'd like for you to do that as well. One more breath here. And then we're going to slowly untwist ourselves here. We can start to relax the legs onto the mat. The arms can come out to the sides. Let ourselves start to relax. Maybe we adjust the hips if there's any wiggles and pops we need to get out. Any last minute poses we'd like to try. Letting our arms rest to our sides. We're going to start to relax our bodies one muscle at a time, focusing on the forehead where we so often hold our emotions and tension and worry. Letting that relax, feeling a conscious relaxation of the cheeks, the jaw, the neck, and the shoulders. Maybe we tuck the shoulder blades towards the spine. The arms are still. The fingers, the palms of the hands. The chest rises and falls naturally. And admiring the simple mechanics of breathing. How the chest rises and falls. How the belly will rise and fall with it. How the belly softens with every exhale. The hips feel heavy. They relax away from the legs. And the legs soften too. Things that support us to hold our weight all the time. Letting them relax and take a break. And fall away from our hips as if they're made of warm clay. Feeling the warmth and the energy we've created with our practice flow throughout our body. Maybe we feel a tinkle in the palms, the bottoms of the feet. Our bodies are relaxed. Our minds are going to return to our breath. Focus on our intention, our goal from the beginning of class. My goal for you is that you feel kind, positive, strong, healthy, maybe less anxious. Whatever your goal was, bringing that to the forefront of your mind. Admiring the breath and letting ourselves lay still just for a moment. Not that our minds wandered to things that may be calling our attention. Instead, choosing to focus on ourselves in the present moment, not allowing the past or the future to distract us. And enjoying this moment with yourself. This practice that you've created on your mat is perfect and beautiful just as it is, just like you. Letting our troubles go. And then we're going to start to bring gentle movement back into the body, the fingers, the toes. Maybe our eyes flutter open. And then when we're ready, we can roll onto our most comfortable side. Supporting ourselves with our bicep. Letting ourselves relax for just one more moment. Taking a deep breath. And then sitting up to our nice comfortable seat here. We're going to cross at the legs. Sit up nice and tall. Hands to heart center. Letting the eyes drift closed. A deep breath here. I'm so proud of each and every one of you for being here with me today. I want to thank you all for joining me. I want to thank you for sharing your practice with me, for allowing me to lead you, for being perfect just as you are. Make it a goal to find stillness in every single day. Life is, and season honors the light in each of you. I'm so proud of you.